China has publicly unveiled the Shenyang J-35A land-based stealth fighter that has been under development for some time but had previously only been seen in unofficial and frequently poor-quality imagery. While we now have a good look at the aircraft, many questions remain, especially about the People's Liberation Army Air Force's plans with it. Since the base design was previously understood to be under development primarily for carrier-based service with the PLAAF and also latterly for potential export customers. The first official photo of the J-35A was released on November 5th, ahead of its planned debut at the China International Aviation and Aerospace Exhibition, better known as Zhuhai Airshow China, that opens on November 12th. The front three-quarter view of the jet, seen taxiing, reveals several new details and sheds more light on features that were previously more hidden. It also provides a very useful comparison with earlier versions of the J-35 and FC-31, as well as with rival fifth-generation fighters. Much has been made of the similarities between the J-35 and the US-made F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, fueling claims that China copied the F-35, or at least that it made use of stolen data to directly inform the aircraft's development. While there is no doubt that China has obtained classified data on a range of sensitive Western military programs, and the F-35 program in particular, it doesn't mean the jet was copied. In fact, China cannot copy the F-35. It is one of the world's most complex machines. The idea that it is a direct copy of the F-35 is blatantly false and misleading when it comes to comparing foreign military hardware with U.S. design. Critical outright differences exist, including its twin engines compared to the F-35's large single-turbofan engine. While the F-35 was designed from the start to incorporate a short takeoff and vertical landing version, this requirement is absent from the Chinese design. There are clearly many elements that were at least heavily inspired, if not cribbed, from the F-35. But overall, despite key similarities, the Chinese design is sleeker and more slender than the F-35. This is largely in part thanks to not having a STOVL requirement. Notable details that we can see in the new photo of the J-35A include an electro-optical targeting system, apparently equivalent to the EOTS found on the F-35 and similarly mounted under the nose, as well as a wide-angle heads-up display in the cockpit. There is also what appears to be a radar-reflective Lüneburg lens below the fuselage designed to remove the stealth qualities of the jet when desired. The PLAAF has also now confirmed the J-35A designation for the land-based version of the fighter, with the carrier-based version being the J-35, and the initial prototypes having the export-centric name as FC-31. The first of the FC-31 prototypes took to the air in October 2012. Like the J-35, the FC-31 also made its public debut at Airshow China, appearing at Zhuhai in 2014. Then followed, in 2016, a reworked and thoroughly refined version of the FC-31. Last year, analysts took notice of the key features from the clearer photos of one of the prototypes appeared to reveal different from those found on the carrier-based J-35. It seems this prototype flew on. Compared to the naval version, the prototype seen in unofficial imagery toward the end of last year appeared to have a smaller overall wing surface area, a characteristic that is also found on the land-based F-35A in contrast with the bigger wing of the carrier-based F-35C. That prototype also appeared to have different landing gear with a single nose wheel, not the twin wheels found on the naval jet. This feature can now be seen in much better detail in the photo of the J-35A released now with the catapult bar not attached. What we don't yet know is how far advanced the PLAAF's plans for the J-35A might be, but the aircraft as publicly revealed wears Air Force insignia on the nose and is emblazoned with markings on the tail fins that commemorate the service's 75th anniversary. The service's recent modernization has been spearheaded by the J-20, alongside the flanker-derived Shenyang J-16 multi-role fighter, as well as the lighter, homegrown Chengdu J-10. Incorporating the J-35A into the existing fleet, it could be a very suitable replacement for the old outdated Su-27 and base J-11 variants that are still in service with PLAAF's fighter force today. Complementing the heavy-duty J-20 stealth fighters with the smaller J-35A could also make a good deal of sense. The J-35A is also going to be cheaper than the J-20 to procure and operate, meaning it can be fielded in greater numbers to enhance combat mass in a way that would simply not be affordable with the bigger Chengdu stealth fighter. For now, this is pretty much it, as far as we know. There are many more questions about the J-35A, and we may find some of the answers at Airshow China once it opens next week. So we suggest you stay tuned for further updates and hit a subscribe and thumbs up to the channel.